pleasant day to each one. I never thought this would happen. Being far from our homeland, I have given up the prospect of a book launching. But it is happening as I speak because of all of you who are here today. Right now, I am about to receive so much more than my share of good fortune in life. And I thank the Ateneo University Press, the Cebu Theological Forum, and the Redemptorist Center for Ecological and Social Concerns for this beautiful honor. Most sincere thanks to Maricor, the director of Ateneo Press. My gratitude also goes to Carl, Rod, Claire, Sunny, Mon, and all in the CTF. I am also delighted to know that beside the book launch is a theological forum, and my book is at the center of the conversation. It is such an enormous honor to be read by no less than Romy, Orly, and Livy. They are colleagues we highly esteem, and their expertise and integrity in their respective fields are second to none. We are in the Lenten season, so it is fitting to say, "Into their hands I commend my book for crucifixion." I am confident, though, that with their merciful hearts and beautiful minds, the book will see the resurrection of Easter. On a more serious note, I would like to apologize that I wrote a book quite difficult for the general public to understand. That is why having a forum to accompany the book launch is not only brilliant, but also auspicious. In a way, I can entrust to our three readers the task of making the three main ideas of the book easier to grasp by those uninitiated to Catholic social thought. I can, however, promise you that a more popular version is in the works. This book is a personal journey for me. It started as a broad canvas of activism when I was a student for the priesthood during the dark years of martial law. It progressed into a series of learning from people I met and worked with when I served the church as priest and teacher for many fruitful years. And then it culminated into the desire to make a specific portrayal of what the church has to offer for the transformation of society. Many books have been written about Catholic social teaching. Most popular of them are summaries of the teachings of popes and bishops on politics, the economy, culture, and ecology. The teachings are studied so that they can be applied and are used to address issues and problems. When I did research for the book, I purposely took a different path. Instead of simply studying what are evident, I ventured to probe on the unseen and tried to uncover the hidden. Instead of applauding popes and bishops issuing public statements, I explored the foundations and sources of their claims. In all this, I never entertained any desire to destroy Catholic social teaching. Rather, I simply wanted to discover its limitations and look for ways to address them. I also needed to know its strengths and find resources to enhance or maximize their full potency. Neither was I bent on disrespecting the Church's teaching authority. I only wanted those who hold such office to see a better way of exercising it. As I uncovered the hidden and the entrenched, and as I gathered the limitations and strengths, I discerned that they can be grouped according to three clusters of issues and challenges. I address each of these clusters in the three main parts of the book and offer three sets of principles. Besides being a personal journey, this book is also a statement of my personal conversion in faith and in hope. First, as I outline in part 3, I no longer believe in a church for the poor. I anchor my hopes for a truly just Filipino society and a better world on a church of the poor. That is, of course, easier said than done. In 1991, the Philippine Church charted a path by promising, and I may quote, to orient and tilt the center of gravity of the entire church in favor of the poor and the needy. PCP 2, number 134. For anyone who truly understands the law of gravity, these words are not only bold, they are also very radical. But it has been more than 2 decades since then, and we are still nowhere near that vision. Second, as I sketch it in part 2, I do not believe in a church whose popes and bishops are privileged interpreters of moral law and whose members are simply executors of their teachings. I rather anchor my hope on the practice of mutual teaching and learning between leaders and members, and mutual teaching and learning between church and society. Mutuality and reciprocity are preconditions in formulating, communicating, and acting on the church's social message. This was standard when the church was led by the apostles, and it is our duty to reclaim it before it's too late. Third, and as I presented in part 1, I do not believe in a church centralized and obsessed with promulgating universal catechisms in every area of our lives. Because all churches are rather local, and its universality exists through the depth and intensity of their communion. In this sense, I could no longer anchor my hope on a super bishop or a central church reading and interpreting the signs of the times for us and telling us what to do. The liberating task of evangelization is rather served by diverse and expanding circles of readings, a multiplicity of methods and approaches, and constant dialogue with other moral and humanistic traditions. For this reason, and by way of a side comment, I am not praying for the smartest cardinal to be the next pope. I am rather hoping for the one who is, at the very least, most able and willing to listen and dialogue. Finally, writing a book evokes a mixture of deep feelings and sentiments. I would be dishonest not to admit having feelings of excitement at the outset. And, human as I am, I entertain thoughts that my ideas will be known and that I will be admired. But as I pressed on, the delight settled down, and I began to realize that I have embarked on a tremendous exercise of responsibility. And the responsibility is not just about grammar, style, or footnotes. More importantly, it is about one's openness and willingness to be held accountable for one's views and claims. And that would include making sure that I am not misrepresenting the ideas of others, It will also embrace being honest and truthful to the best of my ability. And last but not least, the eagerness to correct myself or receive correction and critique from others as gifts. In short, this book initiates me into an ethical journey as I strongly felt I become a part of a wider community of human communication and communion. My deepest gratitude, therefore, goes to my publisher, the Ateneo de Manila University Press, for making the journey a reality for me and for my readers as well. In closing, I do hope that with this little contribution, I will be able to make the reader think more deeply, act more justly, love more tenderly, and walk more humbly with God. Daghang salamat, and God bless you. God bless us all.